Mathis here, Mathis Home Strategies. Today I want to talk to you about what exactly does the Fed rate hikes have to do with Central Illinois. And I'll start out by saying first, absolutely nothing. Let's pretend that Central Illinois is the younger child and we've got brothers and sisters. Our brothers and sisters are Denver, Colorado, Florida, California. We're not causing trouble. In those markets, there is trouble. The reason there's trouble is because we've seen anywhere from a 30 to 50% increase in housing values. You don't want that, not in a short amount of time. It's good to have slow, steady growth, but to see it occur in 2 to 3 years like we just did, it's terrible. So the Fed should come in, they should raise interest rates, but they should raise interest rates in those specific locations. And here's why. Those areas had an extreme amount of population growth. Here in Central Illinois, if you look at any Google search, or just look at the newspaper if you still get it, Illinois is the #1 exporter of people. Okay, so you ask yourself, if we have a buyer in Central Illinois who goes out and they want to buy a home, what interest rate do they get? They're going to get the same interest rate as a person who lives in Florida, Denver, California. Now, why is that? Why would we see that occur if here in Central Illinois, we've been a fairly stable economy? Housing values stayed stable, and even over the last 2 years where we saw historic growth, our housing prices were actually, the gains were minimal. They were not extraordinary like you saw in other states. So what I'm bringing to the table is, why do we, when we don't have the same economy, get affected by an interest rate hike that is designed for the worst parts of the country? We should all be asking that, because if I have a buyer today who's getting charged a 7% interest rate, that's really only because there was an extraordinary increase in the big cities of the United States. So that's something maybe we should all be asking is, why do we have to pay more to get a home? Because the Fed's main objective is to lower the prices of homes, and it's working across the country. But here in Central Illinois, if you have a 3% interest rate and you bought a home 3 years ago, you're not going to move. We don't have any listings. Today, we have 2,450 homes on the market. 3 years ago, we had 8,242 homes. You think the people who have a 3% interest rate that live in a home today are going to sell that home? Absolutely not. You have an 18-year-old to a 20-year-old, they're going to want to buy a home in 2 to 3 years. Do you think the homes that got sold to a 3% interest rate are going to be moving anytime soon, when the option is to go get a 7% interest rate? Absolutely not. What's going to happen is the people with the small interest rate are going to stay, because they're not going to be able to afford to go get something better because of the interest rate increase. You're probably not going to see a massive amount of job creation. Although it's good, our economy's in a great spot, you won't see tons of jobs coming to the area, and you won't see tons of subdivisions. So what's the next problem that occurs from that? The younger generation's not going to have a home to buy, and they're going to leave this market because they're going to want to buy a home. It's the American dream. So we better start talking about building new homes cheap. There's going to have to be new ways found out, and that better be something that, we evolve as a society, because without new homes, we're headed to a place where you can't get the American dream because it's not going to be there. So